You fill the bowl. Your cat eats. You call it dinner. But inside your cat's head, something else is happening, something older than the bowl, older than the house, older than you. And most owners are performing this exact ritual every single day without ever realizing what their cat actually believes is going on. Number 1, the moment your cat stopped seeing you as staff. Here's the part almost nobody thinks about. A cat's brain doesn't file person walks over, food appears under service. It files it under provision, the same category wild cats use when a member of their colony returns to shared territory carrying something useful. Feral cat colonies function this way. Cats who share space don't just tolerate each other passively. They track who consistently contributes to the group's resources, and that individual earns a specific kind of standing. Your cat, according to researchers who study feline social cognition, is running a version of that same tracking system on you. You're not the human. You're the member of the group whose arrival correlates with resources appearing. There was a cat named Theo, 3 years old, indoor only, who'd lived with the same owner since kittenhood. The owner assumed Theo's morning greeting trotting to the door, tail up. A specific short chirp was just anticipation of food. But a home camera caught something odd. Theo did the exact same greeting on days the owner came home from work with nothing. No groceries, no treats. Hands empty. The behavior wasn't food-triggered. It was person-triggered. What Theo had actually learned wasn't this human has food. It was this specific individual is the one who returns. And when they return, good things tend to follow. The food was the evidence. The person was the point. But there's something even more interesting happening underneath that. Number 2, why your cat is quietly testing you every day, and you don't notice. Cats don't form trust through obedience or eye contact the way dogs do. They form it through consistency of outcome. Behaviorists describe this as pattern-based trust. Building your cat isn't asking, does this person love me? It's quietly checking, does this person behave the same way every time in this situation? Every feeding is a small test of that question. Pass enough of them, and your cat starts extending that same expectation of safety to moments that have nothing to do with food sitting near you while you work, following you room to room, choosing your lap over an empty chair. And your cat may be noticing something about you that you've never once paid attention to. Number 3, the thing your body is telling your cat before you've even opened the pouch. Cats read tension the way we'd read a tone of voice. It's a survival trait in the wild. A tense animal nearby usually meant danger was close. So when you walk toward the food area rushed, distracted, or irritated, your cat isn't hearing your words, but they're reading your posture and pace. Feed your cat that way often enough, and you're quietly teaching them that your presence sometimes correlates with tension. Feed calmly, at a similar rhythm, and you're teaching the opposite, that you specifically are safe to be near. This is where the routine starts to mean more than just meal. Number 4, the part of the cycle most owners accidentally skip. Cats are built around a full sequence: stalk, chase, catch, eat, then rest. It's a loop that's been wired into the feline brain for thousands of years, long before any cat ever lived in a house with a bowl waiting on the floor. When food simply appears, with no build-up, no chase, no small effort involved, that first half of the sequence never gets triggered at all. The result isn't always dramatic, but it shows up. Some cats become restless around mealtimes, pounce at ankles for no clear reason, or pester you long before and after the bowl is actually empty. It's rarely about hunger in these moments. It's an unfinished loop, energy that built up with nowhere to go before the food simply arrived on its own. There's one more layer, and it changes how you'd read your own cat's routine. Number 5, why the same bowl held by different people can produce 2 different cats. In multi-person households, Cats often behave differently depending on who feeds them waiting by the door for one person, staying distant with another, reserving the loudest greetings for just one member of the family. That's not preference for preference's sake, and it isn't random either. It's memory of outcomes, attached specifically to an individual, built quietly meal by meal, day after day, over months and sometimes years. The person who feeds calmly and consistently isn't just filling a bowl on a schedule. They're the one being repeatedly, patiently confirmed as safe, again and again, until the cat stops needing to check. Put all of that together, and here's the likely answer behind the title. Number 6. What your cat actually believes is happening when the bowl goes down. According to how behaviorists interpret this pattern, your cat isn't registering "I am being fed." What the behavior suggests, again and again, across different homes and different cats, is closer to something like "a member of my group has returned," and the arrangement is still working. The food matters. Of course, the nutrition is real. But functionally, in your cat's own framework, it may operate less like a transaction and more like a daily confirmation that nothing has changed, that the territory is still safe, that the routine still holds, that you're still the one they can rely on. That's often why a cat lingers near you after the bowl is empty, instead of walking away the moment the food is gone, staying close simply because the confirmation felt good. Quick pro tip. If you want to strengthen this bond on purpose instead of leaving it to chance, try feeding at roughly the same time and in the same calm sequence every day, even down to the tone of voice you use right before the bowl goes down. Cats latch onto that consistency faster than most owners expect, and within a couple of weeks you'll often notice your cat anticipating you specifically, not just the meal, showing up early, watching the doorway, waiting in that one exact spot. It costs nothing and takes no extra time, but it's one of the simplest ways to turn an ordinary feeding routine into something your cat experiences as a daily reliable confirmation of trust. It's worth remembering that this instinct wasn't built in a modern kitchen. It goes back roughly 10,000 years, to the moment wild cats first started drifting toward early human grain stores in search of rodents. Nobody tamed them the way dogs were slowly bred and trained over generations. They simply found that staying near a reliable food source and near the people connected to it worked in their favor. Over centuries, the instinct never really left. It just changed shape, from watching a grain store to watching a kitchen doorway, from tracking a farmer's routine to tracking yours. So in a strange way, when your cat waits for you at the same time every evening, they're running a version of the exact same calculation their ancestors ran outside a barn thousands of years ago, just aimed, now, entirely at you. So the next time your cat comes running the moment they hear your keys, or your footsteps, or the specific creak of your kitchen floor, notice what they're actually reacting to. It's rarely the food itself. It's the return. It's the confirmation that the one member of their world they've chosen to rely on is back, and everything is still exactly as it should be. If your cat has a specific feeding time habit, a certain sound, a certain weight, a certain look, right before the bowl goes down, tell me about it in the comments. I want to hear what your cat's version of this looks like.